everybody. Welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm Sean's Mapping or the Sultanate Empire. Now, in today's video, we are going to be continuing What If Civilization Started Over, Episode 10. If you have not seen Episodes 9, 8, or 7, I suggest you go check them out. Otherwise, you are going to have no clue what in the world is even going on or what in the world is even happening. Now, I do have two special guests here with me today, and the first special guest will be, of course, my good buddy and friend, Ender M. Ender, please say hi.
I don't know what's going on.
Now, if you're wondering why he may sound like this, that is because we are currently calling on my phone. Because we tried doing it, I'll be straight up honest with you guys, it probably took us like 15 to 20 minutes just trying to figure out whether or not Discord would work while I'm recording. And honestly, we decided that doing it on phone is just better. Oh, and then we also have Benito as well. Benito's also here if you know him as well. Benito, say hi. Anyways, Benito's here. You know, that's all well and good. But let's get into some stuff that's gonna be happening today. Uh First things first, to notify everyone. Like I said, I did keep my promises, and there are names now for all of the countries except the player countries, since my friends had not given me names for their countries just yet. Oh, excuse me. Now, now. We'll get into today's video. Let me just turn the names off, and we will get into everything going on. If you remember in the last video, episode 9, which did premiere, I believe, either today or yesterday, some point in time this week, this massive war popped up and happened between the red team, the blue team, uh, and then the Square Alliance. And then also a bunch of rebellions, creating a bunch of new countries as well. So we will be watching the continuance of this war right over here. With the first thing being, of course, the blue team, or the kingdom of, I believe, Drake Knock. I think it was. I don't know. I'll have to double check. But don't guarantee that I'll keep saying those names because some of the names that I got were very interesting. Anyways, we will be seeing basically the blue team right here, the bright blue team that is, because there is two blue teams. Push up, meeting with these rebels. Now, the blue team has nothing to do with these rebels, as you very well may know. Most, if not all, of the rebels will be, well, are being funded by the red team. So the blue team had no idea that these rebellions were even happening or going on within the Dark Scion team. Now, the red team is being questioned by the blue team on their current power and strength due to the fact that well, the red team is kind of getting their behinds kicked by the light blue team down here in South Africa, which is literally just a small military and a bunch of rebellions. So, or like a bunch of rebels, sorry, that are fighting as one combined force. So there's that. But the red team will seem will English is hard for us. The red team will see some success as they are able to make several gains over here on the western shore and actually free and reconnect up with that encircled group on the coast that's been encircled for about 2 months and that have been holding out for a very long time. They're also able to make some major gains over here in the east, taking back one major city and pushing to right about here. Now, let us go up to all of the rebellions. Oh, yeah, that's too far. all of the rebellions up here, with most of them beginning to fight against each other, but each side unable to gain ground against one another due to the fact since they're all pretty much on equal footing since they're all receiving support from the same person, besides the orange team rebels up here who are being supported by the orange team. But we will see some gains made by the Dark Cyan team as they're able to push this rebellion back fairly easily. Of course, looking something like so. And that is all that will be happening down here. That's a lie. I lied. The blue team will be making a secondary invasion into the Kenyan country up here. I'm calling it Kenya even though it's not in Kenya because I can't remember what countries are here. I just cannot remember for the life of me. But we do see some small land gains made in this area. Ender, if you could refresh my memory, what country is here again? Which one? Zambia? Tanzania? Tanzania. Tanzania. So the Tanzanian country right here does lose land down here. And of course, if you've seen previous episodes, you will know this is not the first time the light blue team and the Tanzanians went to war with each other. This is actually their second war with one another. But anyways, we will be jumping away from right over here and we'll be going to yet another area and a different place. Let's get over there. Is there any countries that I could physically see that would be on my side as beautiful allies? Well, now that we're here in this area, this country over here, which I believe is more of a Moldova kind of country, if I'm right where their capital's at. Yeah. Okay, so this Moldovan country is on better terms with you than everyone else, and they're also the strong. Well, they're not the strongest. The strongest group of rebels that have popped up would probably be the Greeks down here, but they're not connected with you at um all of the Yugoslavian countries that popped up, um, they will most likely get eaten up by the Italians again. We'll just have to wait and see what plays out and how's that and and see how that goes. However, huh? What if I like become the protector? That would be possible. That would be possible. However, my good old pal Ender here and the kingdom of El Radia, or yeah, El Radia. That is the province layer. Interesting. The kingdom of El Radia. It is El Radia. It should be called Babonia. If you guys think that the kingdom of El Radia should be called the kingdom of Babonia, leave a comment down below. Okay, if you think a poll, you want me to do a poll on whether or not we should call your kingdom Babonia? Okay, I guess. Okay. Okay, so I'll do a poll within the next 2 to 3 days. The poll will go up on whether or not Ender should be called Babonia instead of El Radia. Okay. Ender, you should get ready. Start the propaganda. Be like, Babonia. We are not. We are not trying to coerce my viewers, okay, in this video. Deepest creepers. Like, we're not trying to coerce my viewers with propaganda, okay? Stop it. Anyways, something. We get 100% for Babonia. Okay. We're getting off topic here, okay, guys. We're getting off topic. We need to get back into the video. We're getting off topic, okay? We're burning daylight here. We're burning daylight, okay? We're burning daylight. We need to get back into the video. So, for some suspicious reason, a bunch of unknown ships coming from the north, I wonder, oh, where could they be coming from if they're coming from the north, arrive at Ender's ports and offload about 30 to 20 massive wooden crates of something, and they get taken by a bunch of locals, and they disappear for a little while. And I wonder what could be happening. So let's see what's happened within the weeks of those supplies going missing from that unknown ship. Alrighty, here we are looking at the map now. You can see that those supplies were full of weapons and equipment meant for a local small cell of resistance fighters that has now grown major within the coming months to weeks. Using those supplies, they have taken the northern half, and it is like known to everyone that these rebels are in fact being supported by the Kingdom of Eldar Eldarivian, Eldarivian, or just the or just known as the Nordic Union, as they are people that came from Ender's country. If you remember back when Ender was in a bajillion pieces, there was an alliance known as the Northern Union. And all of those people that didn't like him still and that loved the Northern Union left and created the kingdom of this kingdom, of course. So that is them, and there is no surprise to no one, and everyone is aware of it and knows it, that they are supporting these northern rebels to try and either gain back their quote unquote historical land or just have another country to make Ender smaller and weaker than themselves. We'll just have to see how this plays out. As northern troops do begin funneling, English is hard, funneling in to this rebel group right over here, and the rebels do begin to push back against Ender's forces, and they actually do a massive spearhead after doing a general invasion across the entire border. They do a major spearhead along the coastal areas towards Ender's capital, and they reach right about here, doing a mini encirclement of Ender's troops before Ender is able to stop them. And now, this is where we will hear Ender's brilliant plan on how he will save his country. Ender the Hunter. Who the fuck hired you as a military general, bro? Who do you fumble this hard, man? Just saying. Second of all, goddamn. And third of all, I'm just saying, I say we change the name of the Nordic Union's country into Bobonia's puppet state. I will not be doing that, sir. I will not be doing that. Why don't you put that into a poll? I don't know about you. I'm not putting that in. I'm already putting a poll up to determine whether or not you'll be called Bobonia. Okay, I'm not turning the Nordic Union into Bobonia's puppet state. You understand? You heard? Okay, you heard? I'm not turning them into your puppet state. All right. What are you going to do to save your capital? Because your capital is on the verge of being conquered. Well, here is step one. I have a bigger and better navy than both of theirs combined. Mostly thanks to Denmark and Sweden after getting that. So, here's the silly little plan. Look, I've played enough Clash in my time to understand how this is going to work. So, with the following of the beautiful log bait, here is what we shall do. I will send 2 sets of ships. Mainly, one set of ship as a distraction, okay?
They're gonna pretend like they're invading the country, okay? While I have other ones, kind of prepare as it'll be a little more sneaky. This is the best I could describe it. And instead, here's what we're doing. Forget about that fucking country. We're going to our not Vladivostok. I think I'm too tired. St. Petersburg area. You cut it off essentially, so supply lines do not go as fun, and that'll let me push them back since they will have a lot less troops. And they're handling the Fire Nation right now.
Okay, so hopefully YouTube didn't pick up that F bomb right there because, as we all know, YouTube is being a little bit of a pain in the behind right now as freaking commanding on who can watch these videos. But we will be seeing Ender's forces do a general pushback of the front line from his capital before his plan begins to enact. Now, there is one small thing that doesn't go to his plan, as the commander that was in charge of the diversion invasion, that was not supposed to be an actual invasion, is a noble, and he is wanting to he wants some glory, basically. He wants to be known as someone that has a lot of glory and is someone who's very brave. So he does end up making a naval landing and naval invasion in this, taking some of the ships and the troops that are meant for the shut up, Silver. He takes some of the people and some of the ships meant for the primary invasion and essentially uses them for his own invasion of this area, which causes the invasion to still go through and work out, but it's a lot less effective as soon as Ender's forces make landfall and take over this major city right here, which is almost technically St. Petersburg, but not St. Petersburg. He pretty much gets pushed out immediately from this area, and essentially is just left with this small little naval landing right here because he lacks the forces as they were taken by that general and that nobleman. And so the naval invasion kind of looks something like this, and is essentially unable to do what he originally planned it to do. Meanwhile, this nobleman continues his push and conquest of this back area, but eventually it all falters as more Nordic Union or North Union troops arrive, and they do begin to push him back and halt his invasion of their little rebel friends down here, until eventually the naval invasion is completely pushed out and fails. Meanwhile, Ender's forces are able to make minor gains in the northern part of the front line, as they're able to push back against the rebels in the north, gaining very much bits of land. They are then able to make several, or well, not several, they're able to make a spearhead towards the major city that is closest to the border, with the front line now officially looking something like this, like so. And now, Ender, what do you think of what just happened, and how do you feel about that nobleman doing what he did?
I'm just saying, Eugene Jr. not fucking selling in a fucking ugly plan, bro. So was Ender's country an aristocracy then, or?
No, Ender's country is in fact a kingdom. Ender himself is the king of the country.
Okay, so
It's just
aristocratic kingdom.
yes.
So like Italy or something. Wait, Ender controls the country. Are we allowed to control the country?
Yes, you are.
Does Benito not know where the aristocracy is? Okay, here's the plan. Through the power of island hopping, we're going to go onto Estonia's two islands and reconquer the two southern areas. I'm seeing, I guess, where that nobleman was, because apparently it's not that difficult. Seeing that he split apart my main army, which is surprising. So with more forces, I could push down and then try to connect up with my other, I guess, district in the south to connect up. I don't know about this, but Ender, I rolled a two, so I don't know.
So Ender does this invasion, but unfortunately, due to the nobleman's action, as this area was fairly undefended, as no one expected a naval invasion there to begin with, uh, it would have been easy to invade, but due to the nobleman's actions and invading that area prematurely, the Nordic Union were expecting yet another naval invasion and were prepared. So as soon as Ender's forces gained land, they quickly lose it until they are pushed back all the way to the major city, looking something like this. And in that time as well, and in that time as well, Ender's forces do begin to get pushed back uh, in the south as well, looking something like this. They do get pushed back out of this major city, but this is now what the front line looks like. But Ender receives good news, fairly good news. About 400,000 Nordic Union troops were able to make it into the rebel country before before Ender's forces up here that did the naval invasion are able to make a cutoff at the St. Petersburg area, capturing the major city, pushing down like this, but are eventually forced to stop. Otherwise, the northern forces will be pushed back more and more, as they're able to take these two major cities, but quickly get pushed back yet again by northern forces. But Ender himself needs to worry, as he's just received news from his Swedish governor slash Swedish nobles, as several ships of Nordic Union troops have made landfall and were pushing into this area. This is what it looks like currently, Ender. What is the game plan?
Well, a few things. Because look, we're in ancient history. You said 400K just went into Estonia, correct?
Yes.
And approximately how much potentially went into Sweden?
About only like 70, because most of their troops are focused on holding Estonia and pushing you out of the St. Petersburg area.
Yeah, because here's the thing. This is ancient history. When soup works, that is basically their entire military. So,
Essentially,
for the main countries.
so
That's like basically their military.
about 70K went over here. The invasion happened. There's about 400K down here. In total, they had about, I would say, 600K troops in total, with you having, like, I would say, 300K more than them. But most of those troops are in the northern part, like up in this area, due to the fact that the northern part of the country does have several independence movements that want to break away from the main Nordic Union. So the rest of the like 100K that are not fighting you down here are up there. But if you were to do that, they would probably end up pulling themselves out of this war if you threaten their capital. But you would probably have to sacrifice one of the front lines that you have down here.
Yeah, playing Roblox. So here's the plan. Um, well, it's not really going to matter how positive or biased the entire country's out of the game. So here's the plan. We essentially go for those two major cities that are at border, and then here's the northern one. We just kind of blitz into the capital city.
So he's able to
Troops back to the south.
Ender takes all of this area, blitzing towards the capital of the Nordic Union, and is able to reach the outskirts of the capital, which causes the northern troops or the Nordic Union troops in the north to pour down southwards. And it also allows Ender to gain ground as Nordic Union troops that were on the front line with the rebels pull back to attempt to break the encirclement. And about all 400 troops, almost all 400, there's about 100 that's left still in Estonia, enter back into their claimed territory that is not been officially included into their country just yet. They just claim it. Essentially, 300 pull back to try and break the St. Petersburg encirclement from the south, as essentially leaving the rebels to their own devices down here. And I mean, it is not looking good as Ender's forces are able to connect up and do a major encirclement of rebel troops, encircling essentially about half of the rebels' military that they have in this encirclement, causing them to essentially lose most, if not all, of their military power right over here, which ends in absolutely devastation for the rebels. What we also see is Ender's forces are able to push back the Nordic Union naval invasion as the troops begin to retreat to protect their capital. At this point, the Nordic Union realizes that this venture was not profitable for them and is a lost cause. So, after doing a push from the south, right down here, and a push from the north, they're able to reconnect, and all 300 troops pour into this area to attempt to push Ender out. And eventually, the Nordic Union comes to the table with Ender asking for peace, saying that Ender will get all occupied territories, but uh, what the rebels still control, will be released as an independent country, and Ender will allow them to keep their homeland. Let me just fix this. There. So, Ender, what are you going to do? They came to you with peace. The rebels gain independence. You take all occupied land.
That I currently have.
Besides what you have in their main homeland.
So, in simple words, I lose land.
You lose a lot less than what you would have, essentially, yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna still bargain for that northern area that I occupy.
They say they'll give you the last two remaining major cities that the rebels have for their homeland.
I feel like I'll keep them as a country, but they have to become my puppets. So technically, they'll still be a country, just they won't be a part of me.
The Nordic Union agrees.
There we go.
So this bloody
So
war.
we got into the Russian where I turned Kaliningrad from German mostly population to Russian mostly population. So through a slow movement, actually gonna kind of swap my people.
Alrighty. So we will get back after the peace treaty. And alrighty, we are back. This is what the peace treaty looks like. with Ender gaining a puppet state right down here, which is, of course, Estonia, and the Nordic Union gaining back their main homeland territory. But nonetheless, this was a war that lasted about a year and caused around 700K in casualties on both sides, which is very costly for both sides. But that is the least of Ender's concern, as the countries down here, and this is a 30-minute long video. God dang. Oh, wow. As the countries down here begin to hate on each other and begin to war with each other. Anyways, I'm going to make this a very quick, very fast outro, as this is about 31 minutes long. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire. If you guys enjoyed today's video, I suggest you go down beneath the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy what I upload and what I do. And if you want to be notified anytime I upload and anytime a new video is uploaded to my channel, hit the bell notification, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoy anything and everything I do. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire. I hope you, ladies or gentlemen, wherever you may be, wherever you may live, enjoy the rest of your day or night, and I'll see y'all in the next video.